Hello, 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 hello. Hello, everybody. Let's get rocking, rolling. Someone. Okay, welcome to tonight's stream. Let me let people know that I am live. Hey, Nabiru. Hey, Iris. Hey, Silva. Happy Year of the Dragon, girl. Oh, aren't you silly, Nabiru? Alright. Let's get to the just chatting screen. Where's my model? Why is my model not on the screen? There it is. Okay. I was like, wait a second. Hold on. Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to tonight's stream. I look forward to having some fun with all of you tonight. Happy Year of the Dragon, Link. Baby, 6 more years of the dragon pile. We love summoning Striker Dragon. It's okay, Iris. It's okay. I'm just glad you're here. I don't know. Is Striker Dragon a Dragon Link? Is that a Yu-Gi-Oh monster? I didn't really play Links. I dropped out of Yu-Gi-Oh years ago. I barely understand. Like, I got some Links when I was building my Machina deck so I could play with my roommate. So I understand some Links, but like, I'm a machine duelist. Like, I play mechs. Yes, it is Year of the Dragon, Silva. So it's a Link one that does the combo. Sorry, I was doing a joke because the Dragon Link pile has been a deck that's been around the meta for like 6 years now. Oh, Silva's doing a summon chant. Clustering wish. Melfi Enjoyer. Hey, Hero Girls. Good to see you. Good to see you. How was your holiday, Hero Girls? I know you like took some time off. That's great. I'm so happy for you. All right, we've got a few people here so far. All right, so first, I want to share with you a little surprise. I felt like I had to top what I did for Christmas, which I don't think I really topped it as much as just like I forgot about it till the last second, and I was like, can I slap this together in 5 minutes before stream started? So let me show you. So, oh, Silva's doing the summon chants of all the. I'm presuming all the 5 red. I'm presuming Silva's gonna do the summon chants for all the 5 dragons or whatever from 5Ds, because you said something about 5Ds. Oh, you made that one up? Okay. I didn't know if there was summon chants for all of them. I only saw bits and pieces of 5Ds. I enjoyed what I saw. But Okay. Not for all of them. Okay. Anyway. Got something I slapped together. It's not much. It took a lot less effort than what I did for Christmas, but I had to do something. Boop. So you may remember for Christmas, I did the whole grab the tux suit and recolor it for Christmas. I didn't really have time because I forgot to do this because I was like really sore from New Year, from getting, I was really sore from getting my Rona booster on Friday. So like, I didn't really have time to do it, so I just grabbed this. This was just one of the standard costumes in Vroid Studio, so I just kind of grabbed it. And I was like, you know what, we're going to keep with the Catboy theme. But Beneath the Sky, Brilliant Azure. Thank you, Hero Girls. One of the upsides of doing Vroid is that it's really easy to get new. It's really easy to change costumes, to change clothes. It gives a whole lot of versatility and just room for stuff, room for creativity. So I like this. So it's funny. This, I didn't do anything to change the color scheme or any of the design or anything of this. This was just straight off the shelf. And it's funny because, so this is kind of my favorite color scheme. My favorite color scheme is black with gold trim and hints of red. Like, for whenever I have like a mech, I love getting like black with gold trim and then getting like red running lights and like red visor or whatever for the mech face or something. So I was like, yo, this is right off the shelf in my color scheme. Let's go. So I grabbed it. And I think all the stuff from Vroid Studio is okay to use commercially, so I just ran with it. I just took off running with it. Yes, and I took it personally, Iris. I took it personally. So what did everybody do for New Year's? What did everybody do for New Year's? I started New Year's watching anime with Silva. It's funny. We were watching the Macross Frontier movies. And we paused the second movie to go watch the actual like ball drop in New York City. And it was just like, it's really funny because like, so for any of those, oh, your own custom chant, nothing wrong with that, Nabaru. The soul, Light Ray Diablos. That sounds like a fun monster. And it was, so if you may not know anything about Macross, but it's, oh, it's your favorite dragon? Hey, nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with a main deck monster. So Macross is a series about transforming mechs, space battles, love triangles, and music. And like, music always features in some way, shape, or form in each Macross season in its own variety of ways and all that, right? There's always some kind of stuff with music. Light Ray Diablos is based banger content. Okay. So it was really funny, at least for me. Well, I don't know. I don't know if Simple Gear is directly like inspired by Macross, but like Macross is like I believe it's the oldest anime franchise to be built around a love triangle. I remember reading that somewhere. He did choose. He finally chose him in the love triangle. So okay, in little aside here, when from what I read online, and people on the internet never lie, when Macross Frontier was being produced, was being made, and all that stuff, there was a disagreement. There was a disagreement between, I think it was the writer and the producer, as to which girl Alto, the main character, should choose. I don't know who chose what. I don't know who wanted what. I just know that's what I read, that there was a disagreement between them as to who Alto would choose. So by the end of the series, by the end of the season, Alto chose neither of them. His literal words were, "You both are my wings," and the last one of the last lines is Ronka saying to Cheryl that she won't lose to Cheryl in singing Orian Love, and it kind of hints that they're still going to be competing with each other for Alto's love. And so that was kind of unsatisfying for a lot of fans. So when they made the compilation movies that were like revisiting things from the series, retelling the story, fixing plot holes, fixing production errors, and taking the story in a different direction to make a new and unique and exciting feature to watch, one of the selling points that they advertised for the second movie was that, at least from what at least it was advertised in the stuff I read about it, that Alto makes a choice in this movie. In this movie, Alto finally chooses between Ronka and Cheryl. And he okay. So in that moment, he said to Ronka, "I'm sorry, I can't give you the answer I want, the answer you want. I don't return your feelings." So then he turned to Cheryl and he said, "I know this is you are absolutely right, Iris." And then Alto turned to Cheryl and said, "Hey, I know this is the worst possible time, but I gotta say I love," and then he got teleported away before he could finish saying that he loved her. But the implication is that he was saying he loved her. He got teleported away by a giant space alien that they were trying to save because there were not one but two fleets worth of main artillery fire bearing down on them, and he was about to be vaporized. But so, fun fact about polyamory being a solution for mecha love triangles. For yes. And he got teleported away to some unknown location, and they still don't know where he is. And Cheryl, the girl that he was presumed to have chosen, fell into a coma right afterwards because she'd sacrificed so much of herself in order to sing for the final battle to try to reach the aliens and bridge the gap of communication. Which I think the music numbers and the music parts of the musical parts of that were 89's Ranma 1/2. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see, when did... super dimensional. Well, here's the thing. 89's Ranma 1/2 had multiple things. The first Macross season came out in 82. Nabiru. That's why I think I read somewhere that it was the first anime, or one of the first anime that prominently featured a love triangle. So like it beat Ranma 1/2 by like 7 years. But anyway, the Love Tesseract. But there was a whole thing. It was really great. I love the music numbers. I love the music parts from the movies. But it was really jarring a little bit to be like, going from like this like really intense, high quality music, like this intense J-pop music, right? This like it was definitely idol style music, and like battles, singing for your dear life, and battles, desperate battles of desperation, and trying to reach out and communicate across an almost impossible barrier and all that. To go from that, right, to go to watching the New Year's Eve celebration where they had some old guy that I presume was famous singing covers of lots of classic songs. Like I think he was doing like some Sinatra and some other stuff. I don't know all the stuff he was doing, but it was like some classic songs, and this guy was like doing covers of them, and like it was just so jarring to change gears so suddenly. So that was kind of funny. That was kind of silly. But yes, the Love Tesseract. Let me Google it, because now I'm curious. You can't be lucky enough to only have 2 love interests. Exactly, Nabiru. You've gone beyond, like, modern harem animes, like, take the love triangle to extreme lengths. Though what's funny is, like, in practicality, it's not actually a love triangle. It's more of just like a love angle, because like you have 2 points that are in love with one shared point, but they are not in love with each other. So like, it's not like, you see what I mean? But anyway, one thing I wanted to share that was kind of funny about mechs and love triangles and polyamory. So November is National Novel Writers Month. And yes, entire school loves the main character. And for National Novel Writers Month, there is a challenge to write the first draft of an entire novel in the month of November. That's 50,000 or more words within 30 days. I've done it the last 2 years. And this past year, because I was really heavy in a Zoids kick, I wrote a Zoids fanfiction. And if you don't know Zoids, it's a really fun franchise. It's been around for 40 years. It features robotic animals and a very alien world of Planet Z. And a lot of different and varying different types of characters and stories and ideas. One of the things with them is that every single one of their animes is essentially a reboot, because they either take place in another universe or they are so far apart on the timeline that they might as well take place in another universe. And it's called Metal Regret, and think it was like Metal Regret or Still Regret was the working title of it. And the idea that's expressed is the main character is struggling with regret for a decision he made in his past, which is where when stuff was happening and an invading army was coming, his wife wanted him to evacuate with her to some safe zone. And he was like, I can't leave this town. My family's been in this town for generations. I can't abandon this town. And so he chose to stay in the town instead of evacuating with his wife. And he lived with the regret of that. And then when push came to shove and he needed that town to have his back, the town did not have his back. And he ended up having to run for his life and struggling, and he got intertwined with some of his ex-wife's research. And over the course of the trip, he has a couple instances where he's communicating. Now, he finds out that his ex-wife is remarried and has multiple kids. And whenever he calls in order to try to get in contact with the ex-wife because he needs to meet up with her to deliver a wild Zoid that he found that's related to her research, oftentimes the person who'll pick up the phone is her new husband, because like she has this habit of bringing her work home, and because she doesn't want to be disturbed, she doesn't take her phone into her office, but she also recognizes that someone has to take the voicemails, someone has to take the calls, so she gives the phone to her husband and says, hey, you take the call and let me know if there's an emergency, but only interrupt me if there's an emergency. I'm gonna go work on research and stuff in my office. So the main character builds this interaction with the new husband, and the new husband is kind of like flirty a little bit, and it's just like, I don't understand. And the main character is like starting to feel things that he doesn't understand when he's talking to this guy. And then in the finale, in the end, right, whenever main character gets to talk to his ex-wife face to face for the first time in like 15 years, and she finally admits that she never got over him. She tried to move on, but she never got over him. And she's like, she doesn't know what to do because she still has feelings for him, but she loves her husband, and she knows that the main character still loves her, and she's just completely distraught as to what to do. And then the husband walks in, and then she's like, I don't know what to do. And one of the last lines, I think it was the last line in the novel, is the husband saying, you know, it does not have to be that hard. And then in the epilogue, it's implied that they became a throuple and kind of just lived happily ever after. So I didn't really delve into like actually writing all of the complicated stuff involved with building and maintaining a polyamorous relationship. I kind of like dipped my toes in it and hinted at it, but I thought it was a really cute ending, because it took a lot of that that tension, that romantic tension of what's she gonna do? Is she going to abandon her family for this guy who turned his back on her? And what's gonna happen? And I was like, let's do something different, because I wanted to like, hey, Superhero 60, how are you doing? How was your New Year, Superhero 60? I'm doing great. I'm doing wonderful. I'm glad to see so many people here. It's nice to have people here. It's always nice to have people in stream. So when you talked to Iris, when you talked about polyamorous relationships and mecha series, that your New Year's was pretty good. That's great. That's great. You eat any good food or do any cool celebrations? That was my entry in that. I still have to edit it, and I'm probably gonna post it on AO3 I made an AO3 account, went through the waiting list, and actually got in, so I have to actually post something. But I want to edit it. It's like 54,000 words, so like editing it's gonna be kind of a pain. And the thing is, in order to crank out 54,000 words in, well, I think it's like 56 actually, because there was like a pretty decent length epilogue. But like, anyway, in order to crank that out in 30 days, you have to just write, not stop to edit, not like I took like 3 days to plan my outline and to figure out what I was going to do with the novel. And like, hey, yeah, exactly, Hero Girls. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's and it's funny because so that was this year's one. Well, technically last year's now, but you know what I mean. That was the 2023 one. And for 2022, I did the challenge as well. I know exactly what you mean, Iris. And 2022, I did the challenge as well. And I started late that year too, which is kind of funny. I started, at first I wasn't going to do it, but then honestly seeing Hero Girls post about it on Twitter convinced me to do it, because I was like, you know what, let's try. And it was life-changing. Realizing that I could go that I could write that much. I had no idea that I could write that much. Yeah, Hero Girls, it was your tweets that convinced me to try it in the first place. Yeah. Honestly, the lifesaver for me for getting it done was I found this really good outlining method that worked, that was very flexible, that I was able to put together just to get out what I was doing, so that way every time I sat down to write, I knew what I was going to be writing. And it was a 27-step method for outlining the a pretty generic hero's journey. And I didn't stick to everything all the way, but it gave me a good outline, and having a strong outline helped. So in 2022, I started like a week and a half or 2 weeks late, and I finished a week and a half or 2 weeks late. So it wasn't exactly in the month of November, but it was still give or take about 30 days. And in 2022, what I did was I outline draft question mark profit. Yes. For 2022, I made a novel out of my VTuber lore. So I'm a VTuber and I developed lore for myself, which is kind of fun. And I made a novel out of it. And one of the things I wanted to get done in 2023 was I wanted to get it edited and like get it published somewhere, but that didn't really come to fruition. That kind of fell through. So that's one of the things that I do want to get done in 2024. Is get that edited, get like some like test readers to read it. I had a couple people who were interested in reading it, but like that novel I want to get done. Then I want to, if I have time, I want to get started on editing my Zoids novel. Which I did for the 2023 project. So yeah, that is, that was funny. Working on that lore and all of that stuff. Like I was saying, when you're writing at that speed, you just are putting words on paper at a high rate of speed. And it's funny, when I was going back, I got this extension for Google Docs. So I do the actual writing itself in Open Office, so that way I can have access to the files even if I'm not connected to the internet. And then I was doing my editing in Google Docs originally because I had an editor who was looking over the novel in the lore novel, the VTuber lore novel, which I still don't have a name for. I had an editor who was looking over it, so it was just easier to move everything to Google Docs so the editor could look at the Google Doc and make the comments and the notes and go through all that stuff. So now I've got this like partially edited thing. I think I've edited like 7 out of the 27 chapters. And that's it's interesting because I was able to find these tools. I found these things that are like advanced spell and grammar checkers, but they can only like check over a certain amount of words at a time. Especially on the free version, it's like if you pay for the paid version, we can check way more words. And so I'm like going a chapter at a time, and like I fix all the things that I can see, then I run it through the spell and grammar checker, and the thing I'm learning is I do not know how to use commas. Oh my goodness. Like 95% of the things the advanced spelling and grammar checkers catch whenever I do that is missing commas. And I'm like, well then. And the other 5% of things are when it says you've started the last 3 to 5 sentences using the exact same word or phrase, you might want to fix that. And I'm like, well, you know, about that. So, you know, just kind of sort of happens when you have a main character traveling essentially with yep, Grammarly caught that one. Yep. Yeah, I either put the commas where I don't need them or I don't put them where I do need them. I just don't know how to use commas. I need to like watch a tutorial on how to use commas apparently. Like, I'm an aspiring author that doesn't know how to use a comma. Misplaced comment in my stream description. Type 0 typo detected. Iris. Iris, did you ever I'll ask you later. Yeah, we're gonna be delving into some perfect draw stuff a little bit later in stream. So first thing I want to talk about is my goals for 2024. It's about that time to get rolling. I don't know when to use a semicolon, honestly. I understand the concept because I saw somebody have like a tattoo of a semicolon and talk about the semicolon project or whatever, of like as some kind of a thing against unaliving yourself, like as a movement or whatever. And I'm like, that's cool. I'm an author and I'm an aspiring author and I don't know when to use, I don't think I've ever effectively used the semicolon. Every single one in perfect draw is your baby. Okay. is baby. I only know what a semicolon is because of a game. But yeah, so let's talk about goals. Let me change over here. That's an interesting place to put a semicolon. Okay. This is not quite a Canva presentation, but ignore this. This was just a note I made so I wouldn't forget it. But this is just some notes I put down that I wanted to share with you all. Okay. That was Nabiru's idea that I wanted to write down so I wouldn't forget it. I was doing some writing exercises to practice fighting mech fight scenes, and in the process of just coming up with a random a world oh, okay, Silva, that's cool. Oh, for that game, that Neptuna Rebirth. Okay. I was like, what game are you talking about? Then it took me a second. So the Gundam thing, I made a world in order to set these battles in, and came up with the reasoning and ideas for there to be conflict happening and in order to create characters, and everything is food related pretty much. The two warring sides are essentially the meat eaters and the vegans, the veggies. Yes. That was Nabiru's idea. I just kind of wrote this down real quick because I didn't want to forget it. But Nabiru had the idea of calling it Gundam Produce of Victory because it was stories with everything being named after some kind of food. And there being lots of giant robots fighting. Well, you know, piloted mechs fighting. But yeah, so that... Hey, listen. I thought it was cute. I thought it was kind of funny. I obviously thought it was funny because I wrote it down here while I was taking my random notes. It's okay, Iris. It's perfectly fine. Yes, fighting Foodons prepare for battle was a real show. Okay, so my overarching goal for 2024 is to get up to 300 YouTube subscribers. Right now, I'm at 251. So that's gaining about 49, you know, depending on if people unsubscribe or whatever, but it's going to be gaining between like 49 to 50 range subscribers over the course of a year. For reference, in 2023, I gained 14 subscribers. So it is a big step up from where I was last year. As a matter of fact, the only time I've gained that many subscribers in a very short period of time was when I was on, ironically, when I was on hiatus. I'd made a bunch of Mutants and Masterminds content. Then I went on. We'll see. I'll be exploring the possibility of dual casting. We'll see, because I don't know if that's going to allow me to maintain the level of interaction that I like because of just my setup. One of the things I value and treasure is the ability to interact with all of you in a very reactive way, and to be able to react. So that's the overarching goal. But the thing is, I cannot make people subscribe to me, right? I can't like go to people's houses and put a banana to their head and say, and say, you must subscribe to me. That's not something that I can do. Well, no, it's not about that. It's about the restreaming and having to set up the different requirements to restream on to do both Twitch and YouTube while still maintaining interactions with the chat for both of them can be a bit complicated. So like there's hardware, there's setup, and then there's how much I can process at once, because I have to deal with my own physical and mental limitations. But yeah, so this is my goal, and I want to set a little challenge. So if I reach 300 YouTube subs before the end of 2024, I will do a cursed food stream to celebrate getting to 300 YouTube subscribers. Where I will eat at least one type of cursed food. Let me see if I can find the picture that gave me the idea. Where is it? Blah, blah. A Iron Chef. So this is the post that gave me that idea. Because most types of salt, I'm vegan, most types of salsa are vegan, and most Oreos are vegan. All right, Iris, I guess I'll take a look for it. So since most types of, like, I can get vegan salsa and most types of Oreos are vegan, I could eat this theoretically. So that's what gave me the idea. So the Oreo salsa, I have a couple other ideas that I will collect and put together. Why is my phone going off now? Why? Okay, nothing important. Ritz crackers, I believe, have butter in them, so I can't do a Ritz. But it's about eating cursed and silly things. So the main attraction is going to be the Oreo salsa. I do not have a blender, and I could not blend it on stream. What I'm planning to do is I have a camera that I use to control my model. I'm planning to instead use that as a hand cam, have it focus down, and then just have the tray with the food or whatever stuff. I think was talking to my partner, and she had some ideas. Where was it? It was it's funny, like, you talk to someone about something, and then, like, you talk to them about so many other things that it just gets buried in the past. Okay, let me jump to that. Okay, I'm so glad there's a search function. I'm so glad there's a search function on Discord. So here's another one. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Carrots. Ketchup. And okay. Cursed food stream. Create my own. Yes, I'll probably work on creating some other cursed mixtures. As it looks like we're getting close to getting the 300, or after I hit the 300, I will take some time to do some research for some cursed things that I could eat. But I will draw the line and say that I'm not going to eat things that aren't food. Exactly, Iris. So, like, I'm not gonna do that thing that one VTuber did, where, like, you eat an entire banana with the peel still on. Like, I'm not gonna do that. That I don't know that I would have the resources to put that together. I'll see. We'll see as I get closer. So this next part is a silly little self-indulgence that I will share with you all. I say this to be silly because I don't think we're actually going to hit it. Yeah, I'll figure some stuff out if we get there. So, bonus goal. This is kind of a long shot thing that, like, I don't think we'll hit. It'd be nice if we hit, but if I get to 1,000 YouTube subs before the end of 2024, I misspelled that. Karaoke stream. I know I misspelled that. I know I misspelled that. I think that's how it's spelled. Yes. If I get to 1,000 YouTube subs before the end of 2024, I will do a karaoke stream. Okay, I'll be careful, Nabaru. Give me 1 second. I gotta use the bathroom. I will be right back, okay? So just sit tight. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that. Fun fact, karaoke is a word actually derived from kara, Japanese for empty, and orchestra. This has been Irish translation fun fact of the day. That's a fun fact, Iris. Karaoke means the great equalizer. Absolutely no one sounds good singing, and it, especially when drunk. So I don't know how I'm going to do a karaoke stream. I stream at night. There are people sleeping directly above me. And I use a headset microphone, as I'm sure you can tell. So I don't know. I don't know a whole lot of songs. I would have to learn a lot of songs. But if by some abject miracle we hit 1,000 YouTube subs before the end of 2024, I'll figure it out. Why 1,000 subs? Because at 1,000 subs, depending on if I have the watch hours, if I have enough people, which I hope by the time I hit 1,000 subs, I'd have enough active viewers that I would be getting the watch hours I would need. I could qualify for applying for YouTube Partner, and possibly turning on monetization and maybe being able to like support myself doing this, maybe not have to keep going through this limbo of fighting for disability benefits. And I won't go into all that. I've talked about that before, but like, yeah, so that's the bonus goal. Would it be nice to hit it? Yes. Do I like, I try to be realistic about stuff, but sometimes you gotta dream, you know what I mean? So I try to hang on to stuff. Try to hang on to my dreams. So, all right. That isn't, yep, shoot for the stars. It is in the motto. Shoot for the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always stop to enjoy the memes. That is the motto. So that is the challenge. Now, the thing is, I can't just walk into someone's house, hold a banana to their head, and say, you need to sub to me. So I have to, there's a level of lack of control, right? Where I can only do so much. But what I'm going to do to work towards the goal of hitting 300 or 1,000 subs is going to be work on the things that I can control. So what's that going to look like? I want to do more TTRPG streams, because that is what a bulk of my viewers signed up for. Rules explorations, character building, exploring different systems, and trying to look at different things. And so all of the stuff involved with TTRPG streams, right? Want to edit those videos down to shorter videos that are easier to consume. My goal is to get one video out a month. I don't know if I'm going to get that in January. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like, but I want to get one shorter video out a month, to get in the groove of editing my own stuff and try to get that flowing again. In the process of that, I want to do one-shots and actual plays of different games. This one I've already taken care of, I believe. I had some... actually, I have to double-check and make sure I've taken all of them down. I had some earlier things where I had streamed some home games, but the thing was, because they were home games that I was streaming, we used like art that we found on the web for stuff, right? And I think I might have some of my Mutants and Mastermind streams still feature that like art that I found on the web, and like they weren't public use. So if I want to be working towards being more serious and more, maybe not more serious, but like more dedicated, putting more effort towards my content and trying to work towards the goal of monetization, I should take down the streams that feature copyrighted artwork. So I still have to go back through my streams, see which ones feature the copyrighted artwork. And take those down because I don't have permission to use those. Or at least figure out what the rules are with that. Like some stuff, like, I don't know, like some of my most popular videos are my character creation videos that like in the thumbnails feature images from like comic books and stuff. So I got to figure out all the stuff that's involved with that. But that's so I'll just say figure that out. Oh, come on. So that's what I want to do more of when it comes to TTRPG streams. I want to actually finish some games. I want to actually work towards finishing some games, focusing on finishing, like right now I'm really focusing on trying to push through Zoid Saga DS because I want to finish that. And we're I guess I might go back and finish X2. I'll be honest, the X2 combat system and the way X2 works, I'm not super enthralled with it. Maybe it'll be better once I pick it back up again. Maybe it'll play better. I'd honestly forgotten about it. The Creative Commons fair use system. You are absolutely correct, Iris. You are absolutely correct. But yeah, I guess I could go back and finish. Like, the thing is, I could see myself playing through X2 once. I know that you're supposed to play through X2 multiple times to get like different endings, and I'm not sure if I could see myself going through and playing through it multiple times to get all the endings that I wanted. It just didn't super appeal to me as a game, especially the pixel remasters. Oh my gosh. And that's the thing. If I'm only going to do it one time, then I have to like focus on. Yeah. So, it has. Yeah, Silva's deployed incentives. Final Fantasy X-2, I did some research on it. It has multiple endings, and the true ending can only be unlocked if you have played through all of the different routes available. So you have to have gone through New Game Plus with it or whatever, like 2 or 3 times in order to get the true ending of the game, and that just kind of bugged me. I don't know what the endings are because I tried to avoid spoilers. I was just trying to figure out what I was supposed to be doing. FFTA 2, what's that? Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced? I have some of the... Well, I don't want to make... I don't want... The thing is, I have games that I need to finish first. Legend of Dragoon. Fun fact, I wasn't always a VTuber. I started about 5-6 years ago. I think it was over 6 years ago. Coming up on 6 years. I just did my 5-year anniversary recently. But I started as a regular streamer, right? Because like I didn't know about VTubing at the time. I started as a regular streamer doing like League of Legends streams and not streams as a YouTuber. I did do League of Legends streams on Twitch, and I had my my videos up on YouTube. And The Legend of Dragoon was one of the first games I started playing when I started this channel, when I started actively putting stuff on this channel. It's funny, so a lot of times people will make a new YouTube channel whenever they start a new endeavor as a streamer, YouTuber, whatever. I just turned my personal channel into it, which is so unsafe and such a bad idea. But I just did it, and by the time I realized how bad of an idea it was, I was already so deep in. But I don't want to make any promises pertaining to the Final Fantasy games because they're not exactly up my alley. Final Fantasy X I played because it was a game that I had wanted to beat since I was a kid, and I'd never finished it. I'd never completed Final Fantasy X because of like the disc breaking, and I wanted to know how Final Fantasy X ended. Final Fantasy X-2 I only started playing because it came in the bundle whenever I got the Final Fantasy X remaster on Steam. I got them both for like, I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks in the bundle. Like I've debated doing Final Fantasy VI because that one's got the mecha and the arcane mechs and stuff. And I think I got Final Fantasy VI remaster. So don't buy me anything yet, Silva. But like Legend of Dragoon is a game that I need to finish. I want to finish that this year. Oh my gosh. I'll make a list. Become a Final Fantasy VTuber. Oh, you're not wrong, Iris. You're absolutely not wrong. Like, if I was gonna play another Final Fantasy game, right? I'd probably play through the 13 series because I loved playing through Final Fantasy 13, and I always wanted to play through the sequels of the trilogy of Final Fantasy 13. Yeah, Silva's gonna be the Final Fantasy VTuber. Just gonna play all the Final Fantasy games. Silva's also one of the ones that's interested in being in my streamed game of Perfect Draw. Yeah, I've started reaching out to people. I need to do some more testing and like practice being on either side of the combat of Perfect Draw, but like it's in the works. Ironically, my first game will actually be oh, your first stream game is going to be Sonic Adventure. Nice. Nice. So I want to actually finish some games. Ooh, what's the recursory project? That sounds fun, Iris. Is it some kind of a project you're doing to revisit old games? Okay. Go back through my Steam catalog and try to 100% as much of my back catalog as possible. Get my average game completion as high as possible. It's resulted in me revisiting a lot of old games I wouldn't have given a second look. Ooh, nice. So one thing about me, I like giant robots. I like mechs. And it's that is a bulk of what I deliver on this channel. I also like superheroes and magical girls, so I do some content around that too. But like those are two of my biggest passions. Yes, mechs are great. Mechs good. So like there's just limits to what I'm going to be able to keep up with. Like, I might do Super Robot Wars. If I ever get enough money to get Super Robot Wars 30, I might do Super Robot Wars 30 because I've heard that's a really good one. I got an English patch of Super Robot Tyson Original Generation, the PS2 release of the two Game Boy Advance games, Super Robot Wars Original Generations, put together into one game. So I got the English version of that, which was never released in English. That I might do that as well for some awesome mech action, and also because I never really finished it. Like, I think I got like most of the way through Super Robot Wars Original Generation, and I bought the cartridge for Original Generation 2, but I never actually played it. Or I might do Super Robot Wars not Original Generation, Super Robot Wars J. I played through most of the way through that. Super Robot Wars J was one for, I believe, the Game Boy Advance. I got an English translation of it that I played on my phone years ago and I never actually finished. That one features a lot of cool stuff, so I could do that. I could track that one down. But the thing is, I want to actually start finishing games instead of starting new games and then letting them drop off. So that's one of the things I want to do. That's one of my goals. And the other thing I want to do is I want to advertise my stream more. I didn't really do that today because I got caught up in a bunch of stuff today. I on Friday, the VTuber Fillion made a post that she was gonna do a show, New Year, New Me, and have an opportunity for small-time VTubers to like give presentations about themselves. The fun fact, she said give a presentation, and it wasn't until she actually started the show that she said the presentation was supposed to be about yourself, which is really funny. Somebody said, hey, hold up, I didn't know it was supposed to be about myself. I just sent in a random presentation, which is funny. And I had applied for that, and I had to put together a video for it, which did not help that I was feeling rough from my Rona thing, and my Rona booster shot. And I put that together, and I didn't know if I was going to be doing that, giving that presentation today. So I didn't know what I was going to be doing. I was up in the air. It wasn't until like 5 o'clock. Yeah, it was very silly. It wasn't until like, I think it was like I could look at the time, but it wasn't until some later time that I actually found out that I didn't get chosen. And so that was whatever. I didn't know what was going to happen. And then like, I was just like trying to gather myself and figure out what I was going to do with my day. And I randomly saw one of my friends on Twitter posted, hey, I've got 5 codes for Blue Sky Social. First come, first serve. And I was like, yo, I've been wanting to expand onto Blue Sky for a while now, right? And I looked, I saw he posted it like 32 seconds before, and I was the second view on the post. So I was like, I instantly was like, hey, DM me the code. I'm in. And so I was setting up he got me the code, and I got set up on Blue Sky Social, and I was working on setting up my Blue Sky Social account. And then after I got started setting that up, I started like perusing some timelines and stuff, looking at different things, and I got distracted. And the next thing I know, it's like 7 p.m. and I'm like, oh great, I just lost an entire day essentially scrolling through like Twitter and stuff. Not to make an excuse, because like if I keep making excuses, I'm never gonna get anything done. I'm just saying what happened, which is kind of making an excuse. I don't know, we'll see what happens. Anyway, anywho, yeah, it was definitely an oopsie doopsie, Iris. So in order to advertise the stream more, I want to start putting out maybe not monthly, but ideally weekly schedules. Like at the start of the week, like on Sunday or whatever, posting in Discord, on Twitter, on YouTube, some kind of a schedule saying, you know, this Monday and Friday, I'm going to be doing this and that. And then whatever it is, sticking to it. So that way people know what they're signing up for. People have time to be like, oh, I'm interested in that, or oh, I'm not interested in that. So it's not just me posting what I'm going to be doing 45 minutes before I go live. Because that's what I've been doing for most of the last year. Has just been me posting what I'm going to be doing like 45 minutes before I go live. 30 to 45 minutes. Sometimes an hour. And I want to do more stuff. So that's what goes to the next thing. Advertise streams more than 30 minutes ahead of time. I want to do pre and post stream posts I've seen some people have some success with that, being like, I had a great stream, blah 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 blah, as advertising for their streams. And now that I have a Blue Sky, I'm going to be posting on there as well. And I'm also open to any suggestions anyone might have about other things I could do to help with that goal of getting more YouTube subscribers. My resources are limited, and I'm trying to work with what I've got, but trying to get to that cursed food stream. But I know it's going to be a lot of work. I know it's going to be a long shot because it is more than I've gained in the last year. Okay. But yeah. That is what I want to do. Those are my steps I want to take. I'm looking at the possibility of adding a third stream on Wednesdays. Right now, I want to spend some time on Wednesdays watching anime with one of my friends, Okusen. Because that's like one of the only times when I'm not doing something else. I was in a D&D game, but I ended up leaving that game for a variety of reasons that I won't go into. And I could use that time. I was planning to use that time for just watching anime, being kind of a chill night. Watch anime, meal prep, you know, just kind of a catch-up night, a night when I'm not doing anything else, right? But depending on how it looks, I might start doing streams on Wednesday nights. That is unsure because I know you if you're doing streaming seriously, you generally want to be doing like at least 3 days. Like, what is it? What's it normally break down to? I think it's like you want to shoot for like 3 4-hour streams or 4 3-hour streams, which I'm going to need to work up to. Because getting like about 12 streamed hours a week. And also I got to figure out what days and times are going to work with my players for the streamed games I want to put together. Because those streamed games are going to be really well, they're really important. I think investing myself in some games, some other games, diversifying my TTRPGs is going to be important. Like, I definitely want to be very invested in Perfect Draw because I really like the game. There's another game that is getting an update soon, Armor Austere Advent or whatever. That's like it's like a fantasy mech PBTA game. I don't know the whole thing. I think I have the demo. They announced that like they're doing an update, and they're like, if people want to do a review or streamed games, to contact them and they'll get you a press kit. And so I might apply for that, just to have another game that's like coming down the pipeline or getting a big update that I could do some coverage on. So that's a thing that I want to delve into. Want to do more Lancer content. I eventually may make my way back to doing Mutants and Masterminds content. Might even dig out my my rule books out of storage for Mutants and Masterminds. now that I've had some time away. Might could do a Prowlers and Paragons, so there's a lot of things I can do. But oh yeah, the other thing. Actually finish and publish some kind of writing, whether it be self-publish or submitting through an actual through a self-publisher or applying to some other publishing house. That's stuff that I want to work on. Actually finish and publish something. Because I've been doing a lot of writing and I want to actually get past the first draft. Yeah. All right. So that's where we're at. 1 second. Okay. So those are my goals. It's coming up on 10 o'clock EST, which means we're going to move on to the second portion of tonight's stream, which another thing I'm trying to do as well, like be more creative with what I'm doing in my streams. Like tonight wasn't just talk about goals. It's also going to be working on villains. Boop. Now we're not going to be going into like game mechanics, but what I want to work on is villains, card game villains, and some of the things that drive them. That is the name of the game for this. So sorry if I'm yawning so much. Normally I sleep most of the day, but because I was up most of the day, like scrolling through Twitter and stuff, I didn't get a nap in the afternoon like I normally do. So like I was fine. It's actually funny. I was fine till I used the bathroom. And then after I used the bathroom, it just hit me like a freight train. And I'm like, oh gosh. Perfect draw game villains. Turncoat gameplay is inevitable with a title like that, I feel. What, a title like the Perfect Draw Game Villains? Well, the game isn't called Villains. I want to come up with villains for the game. Sorry, I need to clarify that. It's all right, Iris. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. That would be interesting. First game running the system. Everyone's run an evil campaign. So what I'm working with, so I have a variety of ideas I want to explore. So with the villain, you have to have whatever the world setting is that the villain exists within. Because I feel like a good villain wants to change the world, right? A good villain wants, in my opinion, a really good and strong villain has something about the world that they want to change. So you have to define whatever it is they're trying to change. Because a lot of times, villains are, at least in most of the stories, the villain is the force of change. And though we do see in some like more dystopian stories, and in some of the more bleaker stories, the villain is the force of stagnation, and the heroes are the forces of change, trying to change a broken system. So you could go a variety of ways. Now that I've actually thought about it, it's funny how you like. It's one of the things that I so as a little bit of an aside, right? There's this phenomenon that like I knew about before, but I really became aware of whenever I became a streamer, and it's this idea that like sometimes you think as you talk, like saying words out loud makes synapses in the brain connect differently, and then like as I'm talking about an idea, I'll like process pieces together and come up with new ideas to work around. It's really interesting phenomenon. So let's see what we've got. So my first idea was based on the 100 Demons arc from Buddy Fight. Exactly, Iris, exactly. Yes, the rubber duck programming. My partner told me about that. Okay, so this is a very oversimplified version of the 100 Demons arc from Buddy Fight. Monsters are real and exist in different worlds. Special monsters of each type have come through and are running wild. Heroes need to find them and capture them from the villains that seek to exploit their powers. So then, who are the bad guys here? The bad guys are the villainous organizations that are trying to capture the 100 demons and use their powers to commit crimes. Okay. All right. So the villains, dark organization seeks to capture the special monsters. and exploit their powers to commit various crimes. So that's a very simplified thing. So how would I translate this into Perfect Draw? Because Perfect Draw doesn't super work with... Oh, wow, getting all 3 Stream Elements messages in a row. That's funny. 1 second, I got messages. Okay. Ba 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 ba. So that's a basic idea for some villains. Your bog standard dark organization. Maybe they had something to do with the special monsters coming through. So that's the 100 Demons arc. Then there's the Duelist Kingdom arc. So eccentric rich man has brought a card game to life and calls together the best players for a tournament. I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since I watched Duelist Kingdom, right? Did Pegasus have a reason for the tournament besides like messing with Yugi? Like, yeah, he gave out like a big chunk of prize money, like in order to draw all of those great players. But I'm trying to remember. Collect the Millennium items to revive his dead wife. Got it. He wanted to collect the Millennium items, revive his dead wife. So it was just to capture the Millennium items from Yugi and anyone else who might have one, and take ownership of Kaiba Corp. Okay. Ooh, that's interesting, Naberu. I know I'm a bad TCG player. I forgot the most basic plots. So how would I translate that into Perfect Draw? Because we don't really have Millennium items. So I know in the quick start, in the demo kit, you explored these like special items based on, I think it was like Greek myth or something. Oh goodness. That's gruesome, Nabiru. Yeah, you did. I remember you did some stuff with Greek myth, which was really interesting. I really like that that idea. Come on, don't stop it. There we go. That's also true. Actually, you know what? We're going to be silly. And we're going to gender swap. For our story. For this possibility. Right now, what I'm laying out is I'm laying out possible situations and possible villains to choose from, so I can like mix and match or grab ideas in the future whenever I'm trying to work on building the campaign for my story, right? So for this one, it's based on the Yu-Gi-Oh story. Eccentric rich woman has brought a card game to life and calls together the best players in the tournament. But it's still a dead wife. She wants to revive her dead wife. I thought you'd get a kick out of that one, Iris. Okay. Yes, women. Okay. So that sets up the eccentric rich woman directly opposed to the players, because the players have an item, the woman wants it. But I feel like there's got to be another organization in the mix. Super Mega Hypercorp. Mm-hmm. That's true. But we're still in the planning stages. It can just start simple. So we'll say, all right, and oh, not a comma there. Okay. Grammarly saved me again. Okay. All right. So we'll say in order to give it some kind of stakes, the item, whatever this item is, it's a dear keepsake of the players and somehow connects them and represents their friendship. There's 3 other people that are not the party, have other mystic items that arrive at the tournament. Rich woman has 1, making 5 mystic items in total. So we've got 5 mystic items. That could do Exodia, that'd be funny. So, like, in order to make Pegasus, I mean, when Pegasus needed to make Yugi join the tournament, Pegasus sent Yugi's grandfather to the Shadow Realm, or in the original anime, just killed him. It's funny. So numbers are the shortcuts I use to make the different expressions on my character model. So as I'm typing, I just look over and I see my character model making different expressions or doing different poses, and I think that's kind of funny. Okay. Figure out a reason she can't just take the item. Maybe in order to activate it, it has to be won in a card game. Dun dun dun. Okay. So that's a simple thing. We have a villain is the eccentric rich woman. So we have a simple premise. Players are in a tournament. They're fighting against other people who have these mystic items. I think that works out. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. I don't even remember the names of the arcs in Vanguard. All right, so now we're looking at a Vanguard-inspired story. Card game battles influence wars on a planet far away. And Card game battles influence wars on a planet far away, and those wars influence the players on this world too. So it goes both ways. There's influence happening, because that's actually what happened in the first arc of Vanguard. Yeah, there was Asian Circuit, Link Joker, Legion, G, Overdress. I never saw Overdress. Mm-hmm. It's got an invading army, seeks to take over the world. And is driving conflict. That's inspired a new clan of cards. Actually, what if it goes the other way? What if it, what was that show? Recreators? The one where, like, as stuff is created in our world, it also creates something in a fictional world. And, like, some of the characters from those fictional worlds came over to this world in order to try to influence the creators in this world to, like, make things better in their own worlds. I never finished watching it. I watched, like, the first few episodes, and it was really interesting. Okay, so I did have the name right. Okay. So we'll slap a little bit of that in there. Slap a little bit of that in there. Okay. They've chosen Avatar in this world, and he is amassing power. Ooh, could do a story tournament. So, I don't know if you've heard of this game, Legend of the Five Rings. I learned to play it years and years ago, and then like I heard it got revived, and I never really got into the revival of it. Like, it's not that it really went away, but it's like it predates Magic the Gathering. But one of the things about them was, at least how I read it, I did it was before when I played the game, but I thought it was interesting. They used to have tournaments, I don't know if they still do it, that would, based on the tournament results, would change the results of like some conflict happening in the lore. Like the lore was created based on the winners of different tournaments. Yeah. The one thing that I thought was interesting was, yeah, it was a really interesting concept. The one thing I remember was I bought this one. It was like the Lion Clan or something, and it had this random demon in the starter deck. And I was like, why is there a demon in this starter deck? And someone told me about it, and they're like, at one of the big things, because you can run cards from other clans in your deck. And in one of the previous tournaments, one of the guys who won had been running, I think it was Lion Clan. Might have been something else. It was some kind of like bravery, lion, tiger kind of. I could have swore it was some kind of feline thing, but anyway, the guy was running one of those decks, and he teched in a big demon because it had really good stats and a good effect, even though he had to pay a higher cost because it wasn't a part of his clan, and he won. And so they created in the lore that demon's bloodline had been redeemed and was now a member of Lion Clan. So now a card from one of those demon cards came in the starter deck. And it was really interesting that like that had an effect on the development of the next like stage of the card game. So I might play with some of that, because I feel like that goes hand in hand with this whole thing of like the card games influence the wars, but the card game influenced the players, but the card game influences the wars, but the wars influence the card games. So we can play with that. Ooh, that would be interesting. What if that was a masquerade of the reason that these meta decks suddenly have affected the lore is interesting. So if like they're like the developers of the game are giving powerful card effects. Oh my gosh, that's funny. So it could be a thing where the card game developers are developing stronger cards because they're being influenced by the war, and as they're creating, it's creating a loop. As they're creating stronger cards, it's creating new things that are driving the war forward. Is that what you're saying, Iris? So it's like the war is influencing the card game creators to make stronger and stronger decks that have now become the big meta decks because those are the big ones that are fighting in the lore. That's a really good idea. I like that, Iris. I like that idea. Okay. So we've got 3 very different ideas, right? But like all 3 of them are based on other card game anime type things, right? The last one's got kind of a Vanguard, Legend of the Five Rings, kind of like it's got a few things thrown in there, right? Recreators, a little bit of this, a little bit of that, right? Give me a second. Sorry, I had to adjust my chair. So it's got a little bit. So now, what I want to do is take these 3 ideas and see if I can mix and match ideas from these 3 pieces to make something unique. Like in this war on Krei, the bad guys is the Avatar who's being controlled by the new clan that got created, right? Which that's kind of like my interpretation of the whole thing that happened with Leon and Aquaforce, where like in order for Aquaforce to be awoken, it had to seal away Royal Paladin, and that whole arc in season 2 of Vanguard. And like the kind of the whole thing with Ren in season 1 with Shadow Paladin and the war between the Shadow Paladin and the Royal Paladin, where like Ren became the avatar of what was it? Because it was Blaster Blade, Blaster Dark became the avatar of Blaster Dark. And then like at the end of season 1, Aichi had to take the power of Blaster Dark in order to make Majesty Lord Blaster to defeat what was it? Dark Overlord, the evil dragon that had kind of taken over Ren. So that's kind of what I was going for, that idea of like this avatar being controlled by something and being influenced, and then right. Well, in standard Vanguard, they did away with clans altogether, didn't they? Like now it's nations, right? Well, the thing was, like, it was doable in the first few sets, and the thing was in the first few sets of Vanguard, you kind of needed that because there wasn't enough support to build really consistent decks that be able to ride really consistently to grade 3 with just the first 1 or 2 sets. So you kind of needed to mix and match. Like, if you wanted to get like perfect guards and whatnot, you had to get them. And then, like, as the game went on, they introduced the Lord mechanic, which was that if a Vanguard, if you had any cards that were not the same clan as a Vanguard with Lord, I think it was the Vanguard couldn't attack, or like, or I think it was maybe those rear guards that were a different clan couldn't attack or something like that. And then after that, they eventually moved to saying that you just needed to be doing one clan. So we have these ideas, and I want to see if I can combine them into something different. Okay, combined idea. Okay. Rich. Right. I think most people, most of the time when they were running different, grade 3, there wasn't grade 3s. It was normally the grade 1s and 2s, because you needed more grades 1s and 2s in order to be able to ride effectively. But the grade 3s were normally whatever your triggers were, I think. Then we got Cray Elementals, and that was silly. Okay. So combined idea. We have Rich Woman creates a card game, taking that from the Duelist Kingdom idea, right? Something like that, Nabiru. So, Faraway Planet reached out to her psychically and influenced this rich woman to create a card game. Cool. We combine the idea of the 100 demons with the magic items. Yeah, we combine the stuff of the 100 demons, the magic items. So we say five mystic items from that world have made their way into this world. Ooh, I have an idea. I just had a brainwave. what if each one of the mystic items, the whatever the Millennium item analog are going to be, are from the different clans of are from different clans that are leading the charge in the war. Like some of the different clans. So anyone who has one of those is essentially the avatar of that clan, but then the players have one that they share between them. Ooh, crowns. That's cool. I like that, Iris. I like that idea. So, but then the players have one that they share between them because we say the players represent an alliance. The players represent an alliance of smaller clans that have come together to try to stabilize the realm and to defend their peoples. I don't know if crowns, some kind of royal thing, because when you think crowns, you think scepters, you think signet rings. I'm kind of leaning towards magic swords. Okay, so the items are like crowns. Okay, so the ooh, different symbol of authority for that tribe. Ooh, that could be really cool. I like that. So they're not all crowns. World Legacy cards. Okay. So what we've got here. So we're combining all of the ideas, right? So owning a mystical item leads you into creating a deck of that clan, and if you lose to someone else with a mystical item, your clan is consumed by theirs and they take your mystic item. The mystic items grant otherworldly powers outside of the card game, and villainous organizations have been... for their own ends. Yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, that's one of the ridiculous things about card game anime that is so that's so enthralling about it, is that like there are these life or death situations that are being decided by like pieces of cardboard, right? These pieces of colored paper are deciding the fate of the world. That's one of the things that like is so bizarre about card game anime, but it's just it's just exciting. But see, the winner take all isn't if anybody loses to anybody else. It's only if two people who are both possessing mystic items fight. Well, so here's the thing. In Perfect Draw, you want to create, from what I understand, you want to create a difficult battle. Like, eventually, the players should win the battle. Now, you don't want to throw the battle. You don't want to throw the battle and, like, make it obvious or whatever. But, like, you want to create a challenge that the players can overcome. Don't want to create an unfair challenge. That you don't want to do that in any game. But so the idea is that for the battles that really matter, right? If somebody loses, then because they each hold possession of the crown, they can or whatever the item is, they can challenge in order to get it back. I like that idea. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But this will be different because the players can lose. You want to create a challenge that's defeatable, but like they can lose. I like that idea that you had, Iris, creating it where if one of the players loses, another one can challenge to get the item back because they all have shared ownership. Maybe since they have shared ownership, one person has to defeat all the players. Like has to defeat all the players in order to take the magic item. Well, I don't want to mess with the game system too much by adding too many like too much complicated stuff to it. But like yeah, and I was thinking so then the final boss battle is the boss is a group battle because there are rules for group battles, right? And because of how the rules for group battles work, if I understand this properly, yeah, right, Nabaru? Yeah. If I understand this properly, with the rules for group battles, it's like if you have more players on one side than another, then like the other side will repeat, right? So it'll be like in a 1v5, it'll be side A, player 1, it'll be like NPC player 1, NPC player 2, NPC player 3, right? That's how that goes, right, Iris? In an instance of a 1v5, the essentially for each air quotes round, the NPC would get like 5 turns. Yeah. So that makes asymmetrical battles doable. So, well, this won't be a battle royale. It'll be players working together against a common foe. Yeah, Magic the Gathering has their EDH and their rules for their group battles and stuff. Oh, were people changing sides? Well, the thing is, Nabaru, with how the rules work in Perfect Draw, one NPC versus 4 players or whatever, can work because the one NPC will get as many turns as the players are getting. Ooh, interesting. I don't even know what Mystic Mind does. I just know it's a thing that everybody hated. If she wins and collect all the mystic items, her clan will take over the faraway world. Okay. Whoever has more mons on their side cannot attack or activate monster effects. Oh. So you just play it with no monsters and you automatically win the game. That's rude. Yeah, sounds frustrating. Especially because so many key effects are monster effects. Okay. I think we have a decent thing here. We got a rich woman creates the card game, but instead of creating a game from the past, she was influenced by a faraway planet. Five mystic items have come through from that world that are items of authority from that world of the 5 major cultures that are at war with each other. 1 ends up in the hands of the rich woman, 3 end up in the hands of some other powerful players, and 1 ends up in the hand of the players themselves, or some powerful card game players, and then the last one ends up in the hands of the player characters, gives some kind of like supernatural outside of combat effect. And the players have to deal with a variety of things going on. They go to a tournament where all of the items are there at once, and the villain, the rich woman, wants to defeat all of them and take all of the crowns for herself because she wants to revive her dead wife. And along the way, they're contending with a villainous organization that wants to use the mystic items in order to perpetrate crimes of their own. Okay. I think we have something here. Basic conflict is going to be the players going to have some kind of a tournament arc. Players fight their way through the tournament arc to get to Uh, so in the mechanics of in Perfect Draw, the card game is an abstraction of some kind of a card game that the characters are playing. The exact rules of Perfect Draw's combat are not an exact one-to-one translation of what's happening in the fiction, but they're like an abstract representation of it. So like because of that, the cards could be generated any number of kinds of ways. You could have it be in a virtual world. You could have it be summoning actual monsters with magic. You could have it be the power of your imagination. All right. And I think that's one of the things I like about it, is that it's so free form. It is a system that you can use to tell a story. And like I've done my hand at, like, I've tried developing a couple game systems, and I've done some research on it, and one of the things I learned was that there are two like broad categories when it comes to narrative focused games. And there's the games that are a story, are the games that are a game you can use to tell a story, or other ones that are a story with a game attached to it. And I like Perfect Draw because it's a game that you can use to tell a story. When I say that, I mean that the mechanics themselves are divorced from the fiction. The mechanics have enough of a degree of separation from the fiction that you can use those mechanics to represent any number of things in the fiction. I've seen some TTRPGs where there's just this direct correlation. Every mechanic in the game has some direct correlation to something happening in the fiction, which leads to the situation where there is a specific type of story that you have to play through in order to play that game, or you have to do some direct changes in order to not do that. I think I've fallen into that trap sometimes myself with my own game design, but yeah, I like how this is set up. All right. Ugh. I couldn't figure out why my eyes were getting so tired, and I realized I wasn't wearing my glasses. That's probably why my eyes have been getting tired all night. I always forget to wear my glasses. I need to get a new pair of glasses. I need to get an eye exam. I haven't had an eye exam in like 2 or 3 years. And since I'm diabetic, I should be getting an eye exam every year. I just couldn't get the energy up to deal with scheduling one like a couple years ago. And then after I fell off the schedule of doing it every year, it just like was just a chore to like get situated. But considering how much time I spend looking at screens in the dark, I probably need a new prescription. What do you think, chat? What do you think of the story we've come up with together? We've got a villain. We've got essentially 2 villains. We got the rich woman. We've got the villainous organization. There's going to be the 3 other NPCs that possess their own crowns or what have you. crown, scepter, sword, whatever. So we've got a decent amount of stuff. Now, I might have to trim some stuff down for if I do this for the streamed game. Because I don't know how long I want the streamed game to be. I was originally shooting for like a relatively short streamed game of like 5 sessions. But then I don't know how well I could sort out going through. Thank you, Iris. I really appreciate your input. Your input was really helpful. I thought it was really cool that we started with one based on like 3 different common card game anime, and then we combined it into one thing that is its own cobbled together mess. I had a thought. Hold on, let me follow this thought down. So the thought I was having was originally, I'd said owning a mystic item leads you to create a deck of that clan, and then if you lose to somebody else, you lose your mystic item, and your clan is consumed by whomever, by the clan of the one whose mystic item consumed yours, right? Cool. Then that got me thinking, right? What if what if it worked both ways? Where like, the items, instead of the items influencing someone to make a deck in that clan, what if it worked the other way, where the items like mystically sought out the strongest players of each clan, in order to grant them power, and then ooh, okay, hold on, I had an idea. Hold on. Mystic items. Today as tournament prize, we have this weird sword we found lying around outside. Strange swords distributed by lakes what's the quote? Strange swords distributed by women in lakes is nothing to base a system of government on, or something like that. Eating on your power to fuel their war. Yeah, no basis for system of government. Okay. Okay. So, they're feeding on... So, mystic items seek out the best players in their respective clan. Losing to someone with a mystic item means you lose the item and your clan gets consumed. But if you win or lose against normal players, your clan gains or loses power respectively. So, if you win against a normal player, your clan will gain extra power in order to fuel their war machine. If you lose against another player... then your clan will lose power and will lose resources. If someone loses too much, the item may forsake them and choose a new host. Okay. So then that creates the consequences. Like, then the question becomes, what's too much losses, right? You have to define that whenever you do that. But yeah, that's what I was thinking, Iris. I was like, that could be... So then it creates consequences for losing, but it means that, like, whatever the magic item is will only choose you for as long as you keep being a good source of power. Like, I was thinking about, like, the dual energy from 5Ds, where it collected the dual energy to try to turn it into a power source. And I was thinking, what if this is like collecting energy from your victories and using that energy in order to fuel their war? That's where I was going with that. Yeah. Losing too much would vary and would have to be defined, because, like, if, like, for an NPC, that could be they lost against another NPC too much, or they lost, you could say this NPC lost so much off screen that they no longer are the wielder of that item, right? The item no longer recognizes them. Yeah. But it also creates an inroad for the villainous organization to be like, well, if we defeat them enough, then we'll get those magic items that we can use for our own means. And since the player's item can only be lost if all of them lose, that creates an incentive for people who want their item to challenge them into group battles to try to defeat all of them. Which can be really good for tying everything together, getting everyone working together, and then it becomes a whole thing about, like, well, we need the power of everybody. Maybe the players... okay. That gave me another thought. Since the players have shared ownership of their item, maybe whatever mystic power they get from the item, they can't access that power unless all 5 of them, or however many of them there are. I was just thinking 5 for player character stuff, but, like, however many of them wield that are in the party are together. Because if there isn't that, then that creates this situation in which the players are like, hey, just have one person not fight, because then if they don't defeat that last person, they can't take the item. And that's not a behavior I want to encourage. Tell the good guy your item is yours, but only because of all the blood on your hands and power it is stolen from your victories. Ooh. Okay. We have something pretty good here. I could work with this. We have villains laid out. We have the villain's plan laid out. Yeah, they could totally mess with them, Iris. Be like, think about, like, because that could be, like, if the reveal, because I'm thinking the players, well, the player characters. Yes, that crown is wearing you. Yes. Yeah. And the thing is, I could do it where, even if the players understand what's happening, the characters will only discover these things in bits and pieces as the story goes on, as they uncover things about the story, right? Maybe they have flashes or dreams of the battles happening on the faraway world. Maybe when they touch the item, they commune with one of the generals on the faraway world. I have to name things. That's going to be the hardest part, naming things. So maybe they commune with, but yeah, so the characters are gonna find this out as it slowly unfolds, and then have the villain drop that big reveal on them, right? The villain is just like, you understand that for every time you win, that mystic item takes power and uses it to fuel a war on another planet. Do you have any idea how many lives have been taken because of the power you've supplied to that warring army on another planet? And then, like, make the characters question everything. Do they even want to use the power of the mystic item anymore? Do they even want to like stop the bad guy? Ooh, that got me thinking. That gave me an idea, Nabaru. Ooh, that gave me an idea. Hold on. So, what if these mystic items are intrinsically connected to the war? What if the war that's happening on that other planet is specifically a war being fought for this power? Maybe there's some corresponding items on that planet, and whoever holds that power gets whichever army has that item gets the power from the players or from whoever is using their item on our planet, right? And then where am I going with this? And then what the player alliance wants to do is to collect all of those items and then encourage the player characters to destroy the items. To, like, once all of the items are together, you can do one impossible thing, right? And that's the legend that the rich woman was chasing after, was because she thought that one impossible thing could be to revive her dead wife, right? Don't do too much. That's Vanguard's plot. Okay, but I'm going somewhere with this. What the players will then find out at the end is that their alliance wants them to use that one mystic wish to destroy the mystic items. Well, we're already kind of going that direction, Nabiru. But, like, so they want to use that one impossible wish to destroy the magic items, ending the war for their power. It'll sever the connection, at least the current form of its connection between that world and our world, right? And that means that the card game will go back to just being a card game. So that'll be like the finale, destroying the mystic items. Okay. Yes, that'll be an interesting thing. Will the players choose to do it? Because, like, if the players don't choose to destroy the mystic items, right? Then someone's always going to be after them, trying to make them lose the mystic items. Trying to challenge them and force them to lose till the mystic items choose somewhere else, choose someone else. The war will continue. Ooh. Ooh. Iris coming in hot with another spicy idea. Look at you. So then I would design like NPC. Ooh, I would design NPC versions of each player's decks, and then have a group battle of them all fighting. Ooh, where they're fighting twisted versions of their own mechanics. Ooh. Okay. So they get some kind of amalgamation of the player's decks into some super powerful strategy. That's a good one. See, this is why I enjoy doing this, because I enjoy getting a lot of input from people. I enjoy collaborative storytelling because it allows people to share ideas, to bounce off of each other, and create something unique that they could never have all created, that they could have never created alone. Okay. It's 11:30 already. Holy cow. Holy cow. All right, let's wind down for the night, because we could do this all night. I'm suddenly very tired. One second. All right, let's. Oh, I've got notifications. Oh, some people followed me on. Blue Sky. Okay, that's really bizarre. I don't know how. I don't know why. But I got followed on Blue Sky Social by an account called Cats, and it's literally just an account that shares cat pictures. And I'm like, that is the most wholesome thing I think I've ever seen. All right. Yeah, now I'll come up with the 5 items on my own of like what the items are. And that could be really interesting. Some amalgamation of power. Yes, I have been given the gift of cats. I don't... Yep. All right. Amalgamation of power grants power to anyone, but must be destroyed to save the world. Yes. All right. Oh no, not the kill plot line. Ah. Okay. Something like that. But for today, for New Year's, I was a New Year's cat boy. I'll go back to not being a cat boy afterwards, but this was today's special treat, was me as a New Year's cat boy. All dressed up. Looking fancy. Sharing goals, doing storytelling. Got a lot of ideas down tonight. Got a lot of ideas to got a lot of ideas down. Okay. 1 second. Okay. So, let's wind down for the night. For those of you who don't know, I like to say positive things about my viewers. I like to speak goodness and positivity into each other's lives. I believe that is a very crucial and important thing that we can do for each other and to each other. So, you scroll up. We had a lot of people come in today. To Nabiru, to Iris, to Silva, to Hero Girls, to Superhero 60, to anyone else who watched the stream and didn't say anything in chat, and to anyone who watches this VOD afterwards, I want to say I love all of you, and I believe in each and every one of you. I think that you all are truly special, one-of-a-kind, and unique individuals, that you are precious treasures of human beings, and that each one of you has the potential to make this world a better place every day by living in it in your own unique way. Thank you for coming to my stream. Thank you for being a part of this community. Thank you for giving me your time, your attention, and your energy. I am grateful to live in the world with you in it every single day. And I just think you're all really neat. Always remember the Star Hunter motto: shoot for the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always stop to enjoy the memes. One thing I do ask is that you like the stream. It lets me know that you were interested in what I was doing, shows me what I can do right. I'm going to be trying to pay more attention to that moving forward. And gonna be working on some stuff. We'll see what happens. We talked about a lot of ideas tonight. We'll see if they come to fruition. See if I get that magical karaoke stream if I hit 1K subs. That'll be funny. With that said, I think I already did the motto: shoot for the stars, have wonderful adventures, live your dreams, and always stop to enjoy the memes. Anyway, no problem. No harm doing it twice. Yeah, it was great, Iris. Hope to see you around, to see you at the next stream. Next stream is going to be Friday, 8:30 p.m. EST. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to do yet. Probably be a gaming stream because I haven't had one of those in a little while. And then I'm going to hopefully have a schedule put out by Sunday for what I'm doing next week. I'll have to put all of that together. And we'll be rolling. I got to get all that formatted. There was a thing I used before on Kawa's website. Kawa VTuber agency made like some free tools for making schedules and stuff. I got to see if that's still up. But that'll be something. Anyway, it was great having you all here. If you have any friends, neighbors, aunts, uncles, relatives, arch nemesis, arch enemies, villains, heroes, anyone you think might enjoy my content, feel free to show them my content and invite them to the next stream. Like I said, next stream is going to be Friday, 8:30 p.m. EST. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing on YouTube, you can subscribe and ding the notification bell. It lets you know whenever I go live or when I release any new content. If you want to keep up with what I'm doing outside of YouTube, you can follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or follow me on Blue Sky Social. Links to all of those are in the description down below. One thing that I will say is I never want anyone to feel like they have to donate to be here. Donating is never required or is not expected. But and I don't want anyone to feel like they have to donate to be welcome or to be a member of this community. With that said, I do appreciate everyone who's donated in the past and who will donate in the future in order to help make things possible in my life. Thank you to each and every one of you who's helped make things happen for me. And if you ever feel motivated to donate to improve my life, to improve the stream, to help out with any number of things, and you are financially in a position where it is safe for you to do so, there are links where you can do so down in the description. I've set up the Ko-fi with subscriber tiers, monthly subscriber tiers. They're not any rewards yet. They're just if you want to help me out and help support me and help me with things in life right now. We'll see about possibly getting up something where I'll be maybe reading off the subscribers' names at the end of stream. We'll see what happens. It's all up in the air right now. But I'm trying to be more proactive. So, with that said, good night, everybody. Have yourselves a good night.